they see each other as equals. That's all well and good. But as of this moment, they don't get to make all the decisions here, right? The Nets have to be willing to give Kyrie the supermax or run the risk that he will decide he has better options. Are they willing to give him what he wants beyond just him opting in for one more year?
Well, like I said, then the conversation becomes different. If you're not willing to give him that, then you have to be willing to part ways with Kevin Durant. And the question is if the Brooklyn Nets want to go back to a rebuild. And right now they're so close to winning a championship. Do you just take your lumps and do you say for the next 2 years, if this is our window, then we're gonna be all in with KD and Kyrie?
I understand why you say that, and I bring Chiney in on this. They did get swept in the first round of the playoffs last year, but I understand. In theory, they would have Ben Simmons. In theory, they will have a full year of all these guys together. So, and Vegas does agree with you that they are that close to a championship. Chiney, how do you see it? If you're making the decisions in Brooklyn right now, how are you playing it with Kyrie and I guess KD along the way as well?
I would hope for a short-term deal for Kyrie Irving based on how the last few years have played out. And there has to be a little realism knowing that this is the push to win a championship in the short term. But, you know, I'm a player as well. And so I know I personally would push for a long-term deal, but the best case scenario for the Brooklyn Nets is to see how this big three plays. And let's be real, this is a big three that has the potential to be the best in the East. You've got the best scorer that's a 7-footer in Kevin Durant. You've got Ben Simmons, probably the most versatile defender in the NBA. He needs a Defensive Player of the Year if he's locked in. And then you've got Kyrie Irving, the most clutch performer possibly, you know, of the last few years as a guard, undersized guard. And so I would hope to see this on the floor for 1 year before you have that decision to potentially part ways with Kyrie and KD.
So, Wendy, you and I were talking this morning before the show. The deadline for Kyrie to opt in to the final year of his deal is June 29th. If he were to really want to make this thing interesting, what might he do?
There's a very, very exclusive restaurant in Los Angeles, Greeny. It's a rooftop restaurant in Brentwood, and it's at LeBron James' house. And last summer, when DeMar DeRozan and Damian Lillard and eventually Russell Westbrook met with LeBron as the Lakers were considering their big move, the move was to come and meet with LeBron at his rooftop, which sometimes makes its way onto social media. The Nets feel obviously some level of comfort about their position, but there is a concern in Brooklyn that Kyrie, because he's not a conventional thinker, Kyrie could be, you know, inventive enough to leave the money on the table to go play with the Lakers and reunite with LeBron. But he would really have to rattle the saber there. And so I think it would take some sort of story or photo or some sort of leak that would ratchet up the pressure on Brooklyn. Because at the end of the day, Kyrie knows that the Nets have caved to him before. He has stared them down and gotten what he's wanted before. The Nets are attempting to reset that scenario because they feel they've got leverage in this situation by getting a contract that they want. Kyrie now has to grapple with that. So the real concern, he's not going to go play in Milwaukee for the mid-level. I don't even know if he'd go play in New York for the mid-level. But going to play with LeBron and the Lakers for the mid-level, you can't rule that out. So he'd have to twist that possibility to make the Nets sweat, and that would take some sort of action to, you know, create that feeling.
Oh, I love it. And Chiney, I could tell you loved it as well. What if next week we got a picture of LeBron and Kyrie drinking red wine on LeBron's roof in Brentwood? Now what?
I'm telling you, you can't make this up. But the crazy thing is, this is kind of titillating. As someone that currently plays for a Los Angeles sports team, literally I played 2 days ago for the Sparks, this is something that actually seems, they might be desperate enough to say that this is a piece that could actually work for us, meaning they really need that guard leadership. They need someone that, doesn't put mileage on LeBron. They need someone that can score, from the 1-2 position. This is something that I think the Lakers fandom might want to run it back. And more so basketball fans, aren't we nostalgic? We love the ideas of, people reuniting after going away for some time, saying, hey bro, I know we didn't see eye to eye, but finally we're back here together and we can try to make this fairy tale ending of winning a championship in one of the most storied franchises ever. That's the part that, that will make the Brooklyn Nets sweat, because at the end of the day, as basketball fans, these are things that we love to see, even though the likelihood of that is a little sus.
Why do you look so skeptical?
Well, no, I'm not skeptical, because I think this is all a great scheme. See, because you guys act like players aren't on the same page about them getting the most money. So if I'm KD, if I'm Kyrie, I'm like, if I do want to play into the whole Brian Windhorst thing today, right? I'm saying, okay, cool. KD, look, this is how this is going to go. I'm going to go out to LA. I'm going to have a picture with LeBron, us having red wine. I'm going to get the deal, because everybody in the world knows that KD is one of the most competitive dudes on the planet. Can you imagine the size of the knife that you have to take out of KD's back? If Kyrie would go to LA to play with LeBron James, would be sizable. Like, it would blow up everything.
Right.
So if you're going to do that, play it the right way, get your money, all for them to be back in Brooklyn where it all began in the first place. Because trust me, at the end of the day, KD wants Kyrie to be happy. If Kyrie is happy, that means he's bought in. If Kyrie's not happy, that means he could be volatile. If there's anything, you don't want more volatility on a team that is so close to getting over the hump. You don't want it.
I love everything
you play
about
the system.
them. Windy, put a ribbon on. We have more on this as we go, but for the moment, put a ribbon on it for me, Windy. Go.
I would almost tell you in the history of the NBA that I can't think of another player who would legitimately leave $30 million on the table and leave Kevin Durant to go to Los Angeles. But Kyrie Irving is one of the most unpredictable and unexplainable players, and that wild card creates uncertainty here. Otherwise, this is an academic situation, but with Kyrie, it's never academic.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.